Ale Ghost Guardian, Sam White. Yeah, just let me know how my audio is. Last time I tried this, I had bad audio. Hold on, actually, I have to fix something. Uh, make sure. Yeah, make sure that app's not interfering. Oh, my audio is good. Looks like. Hey, Vlad. Yeah, last time I went live, it just gave me a lot of weird issues. I don't know what that's about. Tomorrow, just as a reminder, I do have court. It's at 8:45 a.m. tomorrow for a predator that I caught. Remember the guy I caught at Walgreens? That's the one. We're seeing that go down tomorrow. Yeah, so that guy was you could do a drop mic if you wanted to. A drop mic. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Have you seen all the shit with Roblox? Alright, so I'm trying to understand what this all is as an older person. So, is Roblox... Alright, it's my time I understand Roblox. Is Roblox like a... Is it like a gaming social network? Because I always thought of Roblox as like... I thought it was like Blockbuster or something for video games. I just have no idea what it is. But I did hear that a lot of child predators are on there and that they don't get punished. And essentially, there are people that are exposing child predators and they do get punished from the site and are suing. So that part, I hope they, I hope that part's rectified because a lot of times, just you know, the pedophiles like always get away with it, and people calling out the pedophiles like always get it. It's some type of video game thing. That's what it's like for me too. It's some type of video game thing. People can create their own. Oh, people can create their own games and do. Oh, what the hell? So Roblox is like a game that you can make your own games. Oh, I kind of get it now. I kind of understand. That is the issue. So they're basically making a pedophilic video game in Roblox. Roblox. Oh my god. All right. Well, now it makes a lot more sense. I kind of just have a better idea of the picture. Cause like, oh my god, that's like an evil virtual world. That's like, I don't know. My mind can't even wrap my head around that. It's a brave little toaster. They have like showers and bathrooms and stuff. So it's like a straight up a virtual world. That's crazy when you think of it. So you're so before, like, it was always don't let your kid out. They could get, abducted or something by a child predator. Then the next step is like, oh, you have no idea who they're chatting with online, and they try to, make that awareness. And now they can straight up be sexually victimized. Well, they can anyway in chat, but it's like that's a virtual world if you think about it. That's another world. That's not even a video game at that point. So it's like if they're putting on their gear or goggles or whatever the hell it is, that could be them entering into like you could think of you would have to think of that as like getting in someone's van or something. Yeah, I don't know. The world's doing some weird stuff lately. This Lego, it's a lot safer. A virtual world for pedos. Now what happens on that damn game? There's been kids that have been kidnapped and groomers to do stuff over webcams for currency for that game, from what Gideon says. Yeah, and yeah, I've been seeing a good amount of Gideon sketches. Yeah, actually, I was decoying one of the Preds he caught. Um, I wasn't ultimately the decoy that led to the catch, but the South Carolina sex offender. You guys remember that? He went by a different name though. Now what happens on that damn game? There's been kids that have been kidnapped and groomers to do stuff over webcams for currency for that. Oh, yeah, I just read that. I don't know. It's one thing. I feel like it's like one thing to play video games as an adult and like having that consume your life. There's just some kind of part of that where it's like when does a game? All right, I don't know. I mean, I'll just say like I won't even get into that debate. But it's like one thing if like people are playing video games as an adult, but another thing to like use that like wasted activity as a way of like preying on kids. Yeah, you're in here. You've passed the test. Yeah, I don't. That's kind of what I would say. Is I don't think there's. I don't know. I mean, I think all you can really do for your kids truly is educating them and just making them have a good sense of what's safe and not safe, and make it so that they feel like they can tell you anything. That's what I've always said. I can't believe the dude owns Roblox have been sending cease and desist orders to people because the pred catchers have been catching people from that game. That I mean, honestly, that's the thing. My perspective of reality is just very dark. So it's more like things like that don't surprise me. What would surprise me is if like some kind of big corporation with no other reason other than something was the right thing to do for them to do the right thing. That would surprise me. But like some big like creepy corporation, not acting in the interest of kids, that just doesn't surprise me. Like I think the world is run by evil. Like that's actually what I think, honestly. What do you mean wasted activities? I'm watching Tough on YouTube or shows the same thing. I mean, yeah, I mean you can have leisure. I guess like here's my thinking of it. Like here's like my true thinking of it is I feel like let's say you're living your life, right, as an adult, and then you play a video game, you know? At what point does your like life end and a game begin? Or what point does the game end and your life begin? Like maybe some people can have like a good balance of that, but it's just kind of like I don't know. It's like if you're watching YouTube or you're watching like something, whatever. It like I could kind of look at it as like a way that it's connected to you furthering something productive. But it's like with a video game, it's like you would gain euphoria by playing a video game rather than the game of life. That's yeah. That's kind of the way I think of it. I guess there's some people. I guess I've just seen so many people, or too many people, that have just been way too consumed to video games that I'm just like, what are you doing? You know. But there are probably people that can have a healthy balance. Yeah, sadly, they care way more about money than the safety of kids. Yeah, it's just kind of like, yeah, it's like whenever I find out, I mean, even with the president and the Epstein stuff, it's just like there's nothing really that surprises me. Like in my case, like how I think if someone, who is like who had some kind of power in the world did something decent, that would be surprising to me. Like if there was some kind of just response to something, or like imagine, I don't even know. Let's say someone who is like poor or underrepresented, they worked hard at a company or whatever, and they were able to like move up the ranks and then have a successful life. Like that would be surprising. But, you know, like current foul shit that's been going on, that's not surprising. We have people dating AI. Yeah, that's weird. That's weird, bro. I kind of, some reason I don't even know. I was like, if I was like half asleep or something. I've been seeing these weird like AI dating things or whatever. I couldn't tell what I was seeing. I thought it was like a scary movie or whatever, and that shit was creepy. I have no idea what that was. But they have like AI. They're having like AI companions and shit like that. Ran for Berlin. Not sure if you saw it in the news. I'm very close to Berlin in Massachusetts. But I'm trying to read your last comment. Took her back to MA. Oh, my granddaughter's godmother's husband kidnapped a girl from North Carolina not long ago. Totally shocking. No, so what I would do, I would use AI as a tool. What I would do, yeah, I wouldn't have a point of like playing a video game, but like I would use AI, well, like as a second brain. Like I already do use AI a lot. But yeah, in other areas, that's just weird though. Like I think like financial planning, this and that, to remember things. There's like so many uses, for AI, but obviously for certain things, it's just weird. I don't even know how to explain it. My drive in my neighborhood is adding speed bumps, and my property taxes are gonna send. Oh yeah, no, I don't know too much about that. Ryan, just complain about evil corpse being corpse, but you're pro AI. Oh yeah, I mean, you're pretty much gonna have to be pro AI. Like, there's either gonna be two kinds of people. Either you're gonna have to be pro AI, or you're gonna have to live in, I don't even know, like either a slave or live in a third world country, or like even dead. I don't know. We're ultimately gonna have to merge with AI at some point. Make it make sense because it's not making dollars. What is really sick is there's a guy that is making sex dolls for pedos. He says that will keep them from harming actual kids, and this dude isn't in prison yet. Yeah, I don't think there is really a way. Like out of all of what I know, it's just this thing that can't be rehabilitated. They just have to be the only thing that really we can do is just get them out of society. Like they're the one group of people that once they're charged with something, they just should stay in society. I mean, sorry, stay in prison. Um, ask chat GDP what it thinks about Women Against Registry and listen to it sympathize with Women Against Registry. Um, I mean, I haven't heard that, and I can't do it on my phone that I'm using to record. But when I used it, it seemed pro predator catching because I use it for me. You know, big tech Ryan brainwash. Oh yeah, I want to fully merge with AI. Like, yeah, I'm definitely pro tech. So like, I would go all the way. I would merge my brain with AI. Like anything to advance my consciousness. It's been lots of studies, random them, and their brain can't be rewired. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's that they're not. It's not like that's something that like they can like a set of decisions they can do, and then it gets worse. It's literally they're wired that way. Oh, not back tech. I didn't even think of that, bro. No, definitely not. Definitely not pro tech. For technology. I'll say absolutely. It's not disgusting. I had to threaten breaking phone 1,000 pieces for it to change its tone. All right. Uh, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Every time I used it, it never said anything like I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And I mean, this one thing to like report predator catching. Sorry, report predators. But I think predator catching is the most. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the right word. Proactive way of dealing with online predators that you can do. As far as being proactive, like actually facing it. And I've never been talked out of it. I would say that. What gets me is there's people that think there shouldn't be a sex offender registry because it ruins a man's life. Good. Like the best argument against a sex offender registry should be that they just shouldn't be in society in the first place. It's like, okay, let's not have a sex offender registry and put them all in jail and keep them there. Yo, Wug, what's up? Like the new profile picture. Alrighty. Oh, I thought chat froze or something. Yeah, then if you start using ChatGPT, it remembers things you told it. So then it can give you like really detailed answers for how to think. It's just an app. Like install ChatGPT. Yeah, I got this new one. MVCap is watching. So yeah, we got Oh, you have a sex offender living maybe 10 houses down. Glad to know. Yeah, that's just yeah, it's like I remember when I would look that up as a kid and you'd find out like who lives like right down the street, then you probably like know that street and then they show you a picture and it's just crazy that as a kid the government would let someone out that would be capable of doing something like that and they're allowed to be in society, you know? But it's like if you were caught, doing some kind of drug or something, then they would throw you in jail for decades because that makes sense. Like basically, it's just crimes. The only way they really enforce crimes is if it benefits the elite. Like that's really what it's about. What do they say about cases where mistaken identity occurred when vigilantes attacked the wrong person because they thought he was a sex offender? I mean, I never heard about that, so I don't know how that plays out. I know in the sex offender registry in Canada, it's not as publicly accessible in the United States. Yeah, and it's just like the only way we're gonna make it is if we embrace AI. Talk to Jason almost daily, the guy known as the Alaskan Avenger. He used a registry to smash a few pedos before he went to prison for a while. Oh, you're talking about like actual vigilantes. Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, obviously I am, you know, my line of work is nonviolent, but you know, definitely don't judge people that are violent. And I'll watch catches, where they get, aggressive and everything like that. And it's almost debatable on whether that even is a bad thing because a lot of the times, like, you know, the like where the laws suck and they're not gonna do anything, it doesn't really matter, you know. I've already told that story before though. I gotta come up with something new. He spent more time than all three of the pedos he beat. They had multiple victims under the age of 12. As a woman against victims of murderers or a woman against elder abuse victims. Yeah, a woman against the registry that keeps them identified. Yeah, I mean, I think the rape people can definitely see through that name. I watched Aaron today, a guy that works with Alex. The cops didn't even talk to the pedo. Yeah, so I'm gonna have I will say I'm gonna have a procedure for that. So like let's say I'm in an area where they're not taking like let's just say they're not taking the case for whatever reason and they tell me they can't do anything. So my general procedure is I'm just gonna ask them the name and badge number, their supervisor, and then the case number to, like really build a record for that. And then I think the best way to handle that, at least the way I'm going to handle that, just as far as my decision, is I'm going to gather all that information there and then escalate it to either the higher rank cops, and if they don't answer it, to it, the DA. So, um, yeah, definitely what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to like keep it calm. That's kind of how I want to present myself. It's disturbing. A list should always be available to protect our children. Yeah, the shit really needs to be fixed. The guy, I'm having trouble understanding this. Oh, yeah, he was on the run. Yeah, because I guess the only way I can really think of it is like, let's just say I'm in some kind of crazy area where, I mean, because it really depends. I can go into my own city and they're going to do an amazing job because they always do. But I'll just go to another area and it could be their ordinance or their directive to just not do anything. And that's where, we start getting the ball rolling on our end. Undecided to add mentally handicapped to that. Yeah, in Massachusetts, if I'm not mistaken, that just has its own category. It's level 4. People with disabilities. It just, I don't think I'm not sure if it's handled differently. I just know it has a unique category. Bugs me too when the cops don't want to do anything when they find out the group used a decoy. I don't know. I find a lot of times there's just like no like perfect way to do it, but there's always some level of disconnection between the cops and the catchers, unless there's like an actual, you know, working relationship with them. That there's always like going to be a what is going on kind of thing, you know, just because it's new. Like there's a lot more catcher organizations now than there were. Arcade. How the fuck are fines doubled in a construction zone, not against children? I don't know. Construction makes money. Laws need to change. It needs to be the same throughout the USA. Yeah, Massachusetts, the even the age of consent is 16. That's that really means that a 16-year-old and a 40-year-old can be involved with each other. That's Like, I mean, to me, even like 18 and 40 doesn't make sense, but I don't know. You think cops would be glad that the only work they have to do is the paperwork because you guys already did the evidence part? Um, yeah, I mean, I would say the number one theme that I would notice is it's always different. Like it depends, like just like people, you know, it's just like cops too. Like you could come across a predator catch organization that does, everything, ineffectively, and then you could have, another organization that turns in evidence and goes to court and everything. You could just find, you know, one police station where they, they take the evidence and, they do everything, swiftly to move the case forward, but then there'll just be another one where they'll tell you to go home and not do anything. It's just really depends where you go, and that difference can be within 10 to 20 miles. Yeah, I guess it would be 18. But the way you think about that though is grooming should be illegal, and there'd be pretty much no way they would be able to get together if, let's say, it did something before 18. So I don't know. It's only one way that could be done. Uh, If it was allowed throughout the USA, then children would be safer. I mean, you kind of want to wonder if the actual system just doesn't work in the interest of protecting children. Like the question really is the underlying assumption is, oh, these laws and this system is in place to, protect its citizens. But really, that's just the appearance. That's on the surface. It's not really. It's only meant to for the perception of that as much as it can be convincing. Well, apparently ILL sucks. I don't know what that is. That's where, I mean, I don't know if you mean Illinois, where Aaron was today and happened to him twice. They're both times they let their child. They let their child stave pedo walk back in their house. It's gonna walk in. Oh, Illinois. Day. I've heard what he meant though. Yeah, can't even shut off a TV. I don't know. So you're telling me there's one God, one entity that forgives pedos, predators, and another entity, Satan, that punishes them for all eternity? Yeah, I know who I'd rather hang with. Holy shit, that's an OG quote. I remember that quote. And that's true. I was I was reading this quote as if it was someone else saying it, like that makes sense, you know? I just realized it was yeah. This is an MV Cap original. Yeah, I didn't actually post a link. Yeah, and that's the thing is yeah, even the concept of forgiveness, like even if you're a pedophile, you should be forgiven. But it's like if you just don't believe, you know, if you're intellectually honest about the universe and you don't believe in this certain religion, then you should burn in hell. But not if, yeah, not if you're a pedophile. Yeah, it's kind of true more that Out of the two, Satan would be the person that's getting more done. That's the most retarded thing I ever heard someone said. What's the most retarded thing you heard someone said? There's a lot of things ever said. Meanwhile, the victim grows up carrying the trauma their entire life and eventually commits suicide because of the depression. God denies them because it's the one of the unforgivable sins. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, yeah. I mean, at least study theology. Even if you're an atheist, you actually know what you're talking about. I mean, it's not really a debunk if you're just saying study something. You're not really making a counter argument. In putting a quote and then just saying Down syndrome, yeah, that's not an argument either. God's equivalent is to Santa Claus. Yeah, that's they're the same dude. They're the same dude. Hey, Scamuel, I was gonna turn it VCAP into a religion, and then it's gonna have its own amendments. That's what we're gonna go by. I have to have to further the New World Order. Now we can disagree, but we just gotta make points, you know. Shelly Shells. What's up, Shelly Shells? Yeah, we got a mic check. Yeah, last time even I was using my good mic, it wasn't working. So I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know. I've been really randomly spiraling into. I started with an audio check, and I got into all these side tangent topics. Yeah, for my streams, a side tangent topic is that the entire government is trying to work against the people just to set the record straight. I'm not gay. Why are you gay? Natelin. I feel like there's another meaning to that, but I'm not sure what it is. Support First Amendment auditors. Yeah, I feel like what could always makes good content is a very weird interaction in real life. Like just someone just not saying anything while they're like, all right, well, what are you doing here? Well, what's going on? Yes, it's not my thing, but I think there's a balance to it. I think where there's sometimes that it makes sense for it to be there, for it to exist. I'm like, it was definitely needed. I remember there was one where there was like I think it was I don't even know. He may have been a detective the way he looked. But he walked up to the guy because he was just doing the audit thing, the film thing, and basically throughout the conversation, it became established that I guess he may have been out to the bar, the detective, and he was like drinking and all that. I just saw a YouTube video on it. That's where I'm getting it from. And, it's like saying, basically, like, you're getting drunk on my property, on my time. This is a public, and I mean, yeah, certain things like that. I think that, you know, um, I don't really think in terms of groups. Like, there can be a good citizen, there can be a bad citizen, there can be a good cop, a bad cop, a good catcher group, bad catcher group, but it just depends on who's right and who's wrong. Hold on. Oh wait, hold on. I just got to yeah, I can do it.
Hello, my nigger. How are you doing on this fine day? I hope that you're doing well.
Who this?
Say what?
Who this?
Read my name.
McNemesis?
No, MC.
MC.
Where are you from, my nigger?
I'm from Massachusetts. In a past
I'm
life, I
from.
lived in Canada.
Well, you live in Canada. That's good. You're away from all the black ghetto ass niggers we got here running the country. I'm sure that you have other, problem races in your area, but here in America we have a nigger problem.
I think it's just everyone. It's not the races.
No, I have the FBI crime statistics here if you'd like for me to go over them.
I think no. I think we could just use AI to overthrow the humans. Uh,
Hush, baby, hush.
you
Sorry.
wanna?
You hear them? Do you have children yourself?
No.
I just had my first one here, and he's in the crib. And that's what they do. They just jabber like that. You never been around many kids? Baby. Yeah. You never been around many kids yourself?
Around kids? I wouldn't
Yeah.
say so. No.
He's only 16 months old. Yeah, I'm raising him definitely with the truth. I'm not a racist. Why do people say that I'm a racist in your chat? That's crazy.
What's wrong? What's wrong with being racist?
My wife's
What's wrong?
trying to calm him
What's
down.
wrong
I
with that?
apologize. What's wrong with being racist? Well, I don't believe that it exists. That's the problem with it. There are 48.3 million pure black people. They commit 2 to 4 times per capita the amount of crimes of any other group in America. The FBI crime statistics dictate that 56% of annual robberies are committed by the black race. And specifically, we're talking about people who consider themselves black.
I mean, we're talking about like what do crimes have to do with anything?
More crimes, more police, more police. The government needs a bigger budget to pay them. More budget needed, more taxes.
Well, you're grandfathering in a negative connotation with crime.
No, I'm saying like how more crime, more police. More police, you got to pay them. So you need taxes. The government will collect more taxes to pay
So,
the police because they're not going to do it for free.
so what's your point?
We need to figure out why the black culture is doing the things that they're doing, why they feel that they commit violent crime. Why do they do it? 2 to 4 times per capita more than any other group in America.
Well, when you say crime, like why bring up crime?
More crime, more police.
No, we already said that, but like commit
Yes.
committing crime dot and
More police.
what kind of crime? And
Violent
what is the
crime.
effect of the crime?
Specifically robberies, murders, assaults, trespass, fraud, forgeries, counterfeiting, intimidation, and rape.
About drug crimes.
That's not a violent crime.
No, there's been a huge drug war that disproportionately goes after minorities to get those crime statistics.
It's not a violent crime. Drugs is not violent. I'm talking about specifically violent crimes. Drugs are bad,
Right,
okay,
but
but
those crimes are heavily
do you want to go
disproportionately
down the
affected.
road having to carry a shotgun with you and killing 5, 6 people on your way to the grocery store? and you ask
Uh,
me why it matters, you're going to pretend like Roger Jackson didn't just beat a man nearly to death for no other reason besides the fact that he's fucking black?
wait, what are you saying?
Roger Jackson,
I don't know who that is.
Rampage Jackson's son, millionaire, grew up rich, grew up with the world in his hand, anything he wanted. Rampage Jackson's son, loving father. So he decides to go to a pro wrestling event and punch a man 22 times in the face in the ring, like he's supposed to be doing a skit like a wrestler. And he, for real, punches a man 22 times in the face. Now, tell me why he did that.
I wouldn't know.
Because the man had throw a beer can at him because it was wrestling. And he got literally mad. Like you're wrestling and a wrestler throws a beer can at you and he loses his shit and beats the man nearly to death. And meanwhile, they tell you, hey, when you're training, this is choreographed, this is not real. But yet, still, when he got hit with a beer can, he lost his shit. Why would a millionaire who's young, handsome, has the world in his hands, beat somebody nearly to death over someone throwing a beer can at him? Why is the black people so goddamn violent?
What if it's a white person though? Well, like white people are definitely white people are unabsolved from like any crimes. Like, I mean, I would just say throughout any observation of my life, there's been no monopoly on people being shitty with race or any kind of category. Like, are you saying like white people don't do stupid shit for no reason? Like, don't kill each other, they don't rape, they're not pedophiles, or
White people make up 58% of the population in America. If you include the white Latinos, then that's 73%. That's 195 million, just pure whites plus another 73 minus 58% for the Latinos who are also white. But we're talking about the blacks here. People
well,
who
I'm talking
say,
about
I
the
am a
whites
black man.
though. Like what? Like a white person could do fucked up and heinous shit too.
No, what I'm saying is by large, okay, like if you had in large, yes, white people commit more crimes because there's, let's see, there's like 4 or 5 times more than them. Obviously, like in Japan,
But
Japanese
what
people
would be the
commit the
benefit
most
of?
crimes.
What would be the benefit of even looking it through that lens when a white person can be easily just as capable of any kind of crime or any kind of bad thing that anyone of any other race can, where it's just a bad indicator of who is good and who's bad, of who's going to do what.
I see that you don't understand what per capita mean, do you?
Of you mean per capita?
Per capita, yes.
Yeah, I know what that means,
Okay.
but
So if a marginalized group of 13% of the population who self-identifies black, the self-identified group that identifies black, and when I say self-identified, I mean the DMV is the one who's classifying these people. They go to the DMV and they say, I'm black or I'm white, and they tell the DMV person. And the DMV person, whoever that lady is that prints out your DMV card, decides whether you're white, black, whatever. And based on this, the people who identify as black commit 2 to 4 times more violent crimes. Now, white people commit 80% of the sexual crimes. So there's that statistic to be configured too.
okay.
But violent crimes, but remember, White people are also 73% of the nation. So, of course, they're going to commit the most crimes. Just like in Japan, Japanese people commit the most crimes. In Australia, Australian people. In China, Chinese people. We're not talking about in large. We're talking about per capita. There's a marginalized group committing 4 times more crimes per capita than any other race in America. And we want to know why that is.
Why would it necessarily? What answer would that give you?
Well, I think I have a theory about it. But first, I'm setting the premise here. You have to decide whether you reject the premise or. And like I said, I have evidence from the FBI crime statistics. This is
Well,
2023
statistics.
data.
Well, statistics can always be without it being verified, and they can't. Statistics can't really be verified in real time.
Verified
So
by the FBI. Yes, they. It's
no,
actually
not
their job to verify things.
like I could come up with some organization and some statistics, and they could even be wrong, but you wouldn't be able to verify them in real time,
Are they
possibly.
funded by the government?
Well, the FBI is funded by the government. You
Yeah,
just
that's
said
what
that
I'm
you got
saying.
your statistics from the FBI.
What? Yes, and what statistics are you getting? What statistics would you accept as evidence? Well, it doesn't, and
Well,
another thing too, it doesn't really
it would
matter.
depend. It
And I hate to tell you, I mean, and I know you're like, oh, my opinion matters, but
wouldn't be one standard for it.
I mean, yeah, there's only one standard, and that's court, whatever the court would accept as evidence, and that's the standard here in America. Whether you like it or I like it or not, that's what is reality. That's what is enforced, and that's what we live under. And we can change it.
But the question is like, where does it get you though? Like, like, even if what you're saying is true, like, how is that a beneficial way of looking at things? Like, how's that a beneficial lens?
You're going to identify you identify the problem, and then you look for solutions. And what I
So, what
try
would you
to
say
do,
so what would you say the problem is?
black people.
Okay, but what black person and who doing what in what category? Like, there could be a black person that's successful, has no criminal record, and is a contradiction to anything that you mentioned,
Of course,
right?
I'm only talking about most people. When I say most, I mean 95 to 99%. There will always be outliers and
So
variants, and
how did you define that threshold?
what most?
No, you said 95 to 99%.
Yeah, that's what most means.
To from who? To respect.
Well, what do you think most means? Like what percentage would? If I said you can,
No, you didn't.
if
That's
I
not what I
said
asked you.
well, I mean, we're trying to define most. If I said you could have most of the pizza, how many slices would that be if there's 8
I could
slices?
say it's 51%.
Okay. So that would be most to you, the majority?
That would be that would
Which is the
wait. That would be most. Yeah, that would be. What do you mean?
I would call it the narrow majority. Like if you said, I'll give you 5 slices of pizza, then that's a narrow majority. 6 slices of pizza would be an overwhelming majority, but 7 out of the 8 slices of pizza would be most. I'm going to give you most of the pizza. I'm going to take a slice. You have most of it.
You need to have a defining factor of when we're talking about most of a certain group of people that are prone to certain crimes and certain behavior traits, and then saying that these certain group of people are in that same category but aren't in the most category. But that's not even true.
I'm confused about what is not true.
I mean, your entire logic's backwards.
Which part of it? I
Like,
mean, we could go over it step by step.
where does it even get you to come to that conclusion? Like, okay, so let's say you get to say, all right, most black people are going to commit such and such crime or engage in a certain amount of criminal activity,
No,
and
no,
then you
no,
have
no,
also black people
most.
that aren't.
Oh,
What then? What are you even saying? What's the point?
okay, I'm talking about this. If I can break it down in specific terms, 48.3 million people that identify as black, labeled by the DMV system, which is the government. The government says these people are black, and then they keep up with these people because the government keeps up with everything you do. They keep up with how you shop because Ingles and Walmart and stuff like this, they report your data back to the government. In fact, I'm under the assumption, the theory that Walmart is owned by the government as well as other companies like McDonald's. I think they're owned by the government. That's why they're so cheap, and they're kind of like the monopoly, quantity over quality. But, anyways, back to the topic at hand. The government has a hand in every aspect of your life, even the aspects that you don't think there is. They're the ones that tell you whether you're white or black and push these narratives. And when I say push these narratives, I literally mean they dress up in outfits and march around the street and yell F, N words, this, that, racist towards black people, perpetuating the racist narrative. But it's not real. The groups are federal agents that are performing psyops, theatrical plays, Masonic plays on the public.
So, is there even anything indicative about race then? If that's true,
Yes, yes, black people, the ones that say I am black, it's not real. There's no such thing as black. The government made it up so they
so
could
then if race
divide
doesn't
people.
exist, then how would it make sense to uh, judge a whole group of people by this imaginary concept called race? Or is it people that buy into an imaginary concept?
Well, I have a black dog and a white dog. Based on their fur color, what can you determine about my two dogs?
Other dogs.
Yes, but specifically based on their fur color,
I would have to know the fur color.
black and white. One of them is black and one of them is white.
That one of them is black and one of them is white.
Yes.
That's what you can determine about them.
What's the predetermining factors? It's very complicated. It's
That
complex.
they're dogs. I mean, yeah,
What
that they
what
differ.
Yeah, what the darkest cult has done is use the government to create layers of security while they perform this. And you have to understand that you are playing a game with people, whether you like it or not. You didn't sign up for this game, but other people are playing this game with you. So, just like I asked you about my dogs, it don't matter. However, if you can divide the people and conquer them, they'll divide themselves. So, if you can get them to say, I'm black, and then you can get them to say, I'm white, and when I ask them to define the terms, they can't do it. Can you do it? Can you define white, black, and because what is white, black?
So your position then is that race doesn't even exist in the first place, and that's an entirely government-created construction.
Wait, what are you saying? I need
What you just said.
clarification.
Well,
I need
basically,
clarification.
your conclusion is that race isn't even a real concept. So there'd be no point of using it as a characteristic to determine any kind of behavior. Just like dog fur.
The
That's
government
literally the
has
same thing that you're
the
saying.
government is dividing and conquering people. It's what they do. It's how they stay in power. They divide people. Okay, so they have divided people that identify as black. And these people that have identified as black will get on the internet and host black only spaces, stuff like that. and they'll perpetuate a narrative and they'll push it out to social media.
Do they
And
have to
they're
be black
uh,
to do they have to be black to identify as black?
not necessarily, because
Okay, that's right.
in BLM we saw a mixture of white people and different races. Black Lives Matter. It's black people, but if you're white, you can still represent the group, but you're seen as supplementary to the cause. You're like,
Yeah.
well, you should help us because of what your ancestors did. So the white people will help the BLM people as servants.
So so when you say the problem, is like the black people, it's of really the people that identify as black, as you said, who might not necessarily need to be black, correct?
Right. And Black Lives Matter, okay,
Then
three,
race wouldn't even be then hold on though. You realize the race isn't wouldn't even be the determining factor out of anything you've ever talked about, right? It wouldn't be race.
race is a mental construct. It's not real. Just like I told you about the black dog and the white dog. And then, there's Labradors and Beagles and Healers and Great Danes, stuff like this. But they're all still dogs. It doesn't matter what size or shape, whatever. Now, they do have different characteristics. Breeding. Genetics matter. If you have two blind dogs and they breed, they're more than likely to create a blind puppy. So, based on genetics, that's how they get the facial features. The government is dividing people. And the DMV, the ladies at the DMV that print your license are dividing people. They're saying you're black, you're white. And even if the person says, yeah, I'm white, you can't say you're white. The DMV lady will look at you, and if you say I'm black and you're really white, she'll put white. The DMV lady decides who you are. When she looks at you, whoever it is, he black, she black, he white, and then you carry that identification. And this identification is used by the government to say, you're white, this is what your group does. And then the black people, this is what your group does. And then they say the people that identifies this group as black commit the most crimes, which is true. And the reason for that is because the Democrats are pushing a narrative that white people are oppressing them, even though we're not doing a damn thing to them. They're just pushing that narrative. So it's a big old fucking web. And it's never going to change until we unravel it piece by piece and people actually start listening, actually start contributing information in the right direction, and actually start standing up for yourself. And yes, it
So,
could very well involve violence.
but what would be the determining factor of that behavior if it's not even race? Then,
This is just what the government does. They create false dilemmas. You're
no, but aren't you contradicting yourself? Because you're coming in saying that, all right, so black people commit, have some kind of correlation to crime that you're implying, but then when you break it down, you're saying that it's because of a mental construct of race.
It's because that the government and politics, you are forced to play the game of politics. Your level of participation it depends on your, like, for example, you must pay sales tax. You go to the store, you have to pay that sales tax. So this is just something that everyone's like, okay, but sales tax didn't exist always. In fact, we had the Revolutionary War over a 5% sales tax on tea. That's what we went to war for. The Boston Tea Party. And nowadays we're paying 7%, 8% sometimes, depending on who's in president, over a bottle of soda. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. I don't know if you can, but and then if you work a job, you pay income taxes up to about 19%. So if you add the 7% with the 19%, 26% of your check, if you work a job, if you're an honest worker, say you work at a factory or you're a carpenter or something, 26% of your check is spent off the top. So how do you feel about that? That's the government steals 26% of everybody's income.
Well, it depend how much income you're making and what tax bracket. But I mean,
Well, I'm part of the middle
that
class,
wouldn't.
right? And 82% of America is part of that middle class. So I look at the 82%. I'm not focused on the 12% that's fallen off the wagon, like disability people and lower class people that have very bad jobs and homeless people and stuff. I'm not focused on that. That's only 12%. I'm not focused on 6% super wealthy. I'm focused on that middle 82% that we're all in. 82% of Americans make between $30,000 and $95,000. And that 65,000 margin hardly means anything. I mean, yes, it matters. You definitely want to be in the upper middle, but it doesn't matter if you're in the lower middle or the upper middle. You're in the middle, and your life is only going to get so good. It can only get up to the upper middle, to where you have enough to survive and your bills are paid. And you might have enough to do yourself a vacation once a year, live comfortably. That's the goal. Like, that's what the upper middle class is, living comfortably. If you're struggling a little bit, like me, I'm struggling a little bit to pay my bills. I'm in the middle of the pack, the middle of the middle class. And then some people that I've talked to, they're, like I used to be years ago, you're struggling to get by, got a lot of problems, bills mounting up, problems mounting up, and your job is just a low wage job. And that's in the lower middle class, but you're still middle class because if you're living in a house and you have food, then you're middle class, you know, because a lot of times disabled people just do without food.
I
But are
mean,
you kind of seeing where I'm going with this, right?
what's your? No, actually, I don't. Like, where are you going with it?
We're all 82% of us, and plus the 12%, so 94% of us, which I consider most. I gotta say 95. Most of us are stuck in a cycle that we were put here by the government, with only a narrow margin of 6% of the people that are celebrities, sports, stuff like this that the government props up. The government gives money to, well, there's just billionaires. They give money, like the billionaires donate to the government and they pass laws that benefit the billionaires. And like the billionaires go from town to town, they talk to mayors about events they want to host. Like, these celebrities be like, I want to come to Detroit, and if like Eminem wants to come to Detroit, then he talks with the mayor, says, hey, I want to plan an event in your town, and then they sponsor it. And the government works with celebrities to make them even richer because they're bringing tourism to the area. And they get richer and richer and richer as entertainers. And the rest of us just sit and watch, wishing that we were them. Not that we were them in literal form, that we were heard like them. That our work, like me, I'm a rapper, like my work could be heard. But and there's a lot of people that write, rap, have Substacks, social medias, and we're never heard. Only that narrow margin, 6%. And for most of us, we're playing a game that we're automatically losing. And the only way to fix this is we have to get enough people to turn on the current system to turn the tide, to resist the government, not to fight violent, but it could be. There's a line in the sand that you have to draw. So there is a line in
Wait,
the
so are we
sand.
fighting or are we drawing lines in the sand though? Like, what is it? What's the fight look like? Like, what are we doing?
Well, the line in the sand that's been drawn for the I'm a libertarian, so
Yeah.
and whatever that entails, I'm an atheist. I'm a libertarian, and the line in the sand is this: if there's ever a time where they try to steal teenagers that are like 16 or 17, or anybody for that matter, but especially kids, if you see people in uniforms stealing kids and the kids don't want to go and they're fighting, then you owe it to yourself and your country to go outside with a gun and shoot those military personnels, and or maybe you shoot one of them and send the other back with a message: hey, over my dead body are you going to be dragging off children to go fight in your stupid wars? That's the line in
Wait,
the sand.
you think if you just shoot like a military, anything military or whatever, and you're because you're on your home, do you think you're safe when you do that?
No, I'm just saying that's the line in the sand that you don't cross. That's the line in the sand. If you're not willing to do that, you can't be part of this. You can't be a libertarian. If you're not
Yeah,
willing
no one can.
if you're not willing to defend yourself, you can't be a libertarian.
Yeah, you get killed, dude. If you did that, like the
Well,
government would blow you up.
I I can't bow down to tyranny though, because I have kids, and what kind of world would it be? What are they going to grow up in, a tyrant's world? Like in a dictator? Like, I have to fight. I don't have a choice. And I don't think nobody does, because once they get a hold of the economy like they've done, and once they just start wrenching, they'll never stop. And for me, I have solutions to that problem because I'm very lucky and very smart. I can go to the upper middle and have what I need and ignore all this. But along
Wait,
the way,
is wait, is this actually you? The AI avatar I'm seeing? Like, are you
oh, I asked Grok to draw a picture of me. I said, draw a picture of me based on my post.
yeah, you said something about a rapper. Are you a rapper?
Yeah.
Are you forming at a club there?
No, I'm just a rapper. I publish on Amazon Music. But what I'm saying is this: who I really am, and because my rap, because you're not going to like my rap if you don't like it. Me as a person, I'm a libertarian. So
Yeah.
you would you be willing to watch them kidnap people and drag them off to fight in the military if they didn't want to go? Would you allow that to happen?
You mean drafting?
Would you allow it to happen? Would you allow your would you allow kids to be drug off in your neighborhood to fight in wars that they don't believe in?
And
You would allow it or not?
I mean, no, I don't know if you're referring to drafting or you're talking about people literally being kidnapped and thrown into trucks and then being
Yeah,
somehow
yeah.
sent
Let's say
to some.
drafting. I don't know if you're aware of this, but every adult is required to sign up for the military when they reach the age of 21. If they don't, it's a felony. You didn't know that?
Well, I know about. I mean, again, like you're referring to drafting, right? That's
Let's just say it is a draft. Yeah, because that's
yeah.
the situation where they would do it. A draft. They say we need people. We don't have enough military, and you have to come. And people's
Well,
like,
think
"Fuck you. We're not fighting your wars." And they come to steal people. They've done it before. And they say, "Well, we're going to put you in prison. We're going to drag you off to prison if you don't fight our wars."
Yeah.
So you would allow children in your neighborhood to be drug off. Like you have to live here, and
No, I
everyone's
mean
going to
you wouldn't have the choice because you'd be living in a society that has a social contract that you signed up for. Otherwise, you'd have to leave if you didn't want to live in a country that had a draft.
Well, you can't leave because there's 195 nations in the world, and those 195 nations literally own the land masses. There's nowhere to go. You have to get along with this group. It's like they
You can go
build a
anywhere.
imagine they build a house on your land. You have to get along with them. I mean, they have police and they have military. What are you going to do? Get off my land? No.
I
Are you going?
mean,
That's what I'm saying. Like
you could
they're
go to a
scared.
country that be closer aligned with your beliefs. I
I
guess
guess
one that wouldn't
I'm
have a
trying to
draft.
figure out. Are you so you're pro? You're for the government. You think it's a good thing. You think they produce goodness.
Not one thing produces one monolithic thing. No, not one thing is absolutely good or bad.
I'm talking about the presence of government, and I
Well,
told
yeah, presence of
you that
government like putting out a fire, pretty good.
the
Uh,
government is an instrument. You have to start looking at it as an instrument, a system that was created to oppress people.
well, you said presence of a government, like we're talking about presence of government. What about presence of government in a fire department?
I mean, I am so depressed because I'm unable to explain myself.
No, it's a simple question for you. What about presence of government for a house fire?
I'm talking about.
No, but I'm talking about this.
Are you understanding my concept of what the government is?
No, I'm asking you a question.
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
Is the presence of government putting out a fire and a house fire a good thing or a bad thing?
It is a good thing that they put out fires. That is a good thing. The
Yeah.
emergency services
So it
are
can't be all bad or all good.
right, but the same people who control the government, the ones that control the government, are the ones that are causing the calamity. They're causing the calamity. If they can't find a group of people to do it for them, they will do it themselves. They will start wildfires. They will send an agent to start wildfires. They'll send agents to perpetuate racism, to wave a swastika flag in the streets and yell the N word. And then black people with their phones say, "Look at this. I
Sure.
can't believe this is happening." I
So,
don't think you're understanding that
so it's the
that
government
you,
that really started the fires.
the government, if there's
Yeah.
no, okay, if there's no fires to put out, they will start the fires to justify their existence. So yes, they will put out a
Well,
fire.
wait, there wouldn't be a scenario where there's no. So in this case where there's no fires, they're just gonna make fires to put out fires.
It's like they break your arm and you're screaming in pain, and then they drive you to the hospital to get you fixed by a doctor who's on their
Yeah.
payroll, give you pain pills. But they're the ones who broke your arm. The government is the reason we're in the shape that we're in today. However,
Wait, well, what if
people
you
rely
literally
on the
broke?
government.
Wait, what are you saying though? If you literally broke your arm, what if you broke the arm by working on your roof? How would they?
No,
How?
I'm saying that the government is they'll send out an agent to break your arm. I'm saying that if you go, yeah, what you said, you're working around the house, fall and break your arm. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if that doesn't happen and the government needs it to happen because they need to justify the existence of the doctor, they need to justify their own existence, they will send an agent out to break your arm if it doesn't happen on its own. And they will
Oh, I
perpetuate
didn't know
evil.
that.
Does that make sense? They will perpetuate evil. They will fight evil, but they also perpetuate it. It's called orderly evil. They create the chaos and then reap the benefits from it. It's a divide and conquer strategy, false dilemma strategy, black white, Republican Democrat, man woman, gay straight.
I just thought of an ad for it. Like, do you have a government agency that has no need anymore? We'll just send the agents in, and we'll just fuck shit up. We'll start fires, start breaking arms. We'll just send an agent out.
So what do you? Yes, that's and they send the FBI agents to march in
Yeah,
streets. And if you go to my X account, you can actually see this in real time. And if you follow the people that I've reposted, you'll see them. And I think I like this one. If you go to my likes, and you'll see them. And I can get the link for it if you want, but I'm just saying, this is my source. Is this? You'll see like a group of about a dozen people or more marching in unison. Meanwhile, the police are cruising, making sure nobody's violent, and they're just marching with a black flag with a red swastika on it, yelling "White Power, F," niggers, whatever. Um, because they need racism to be true. And then the Republicans are aware of this. Like, the Republicans are aware of the dark occult, and they try to call them out for what they're doing. But that's all they do is call them out. They're just here to be like, this is what they did wrong. If you vote us in, we'll stop them. If you don't vote them in, you know, we'll stand by and let it happen because you didn't give us power. You have to consent to your own deception. They can't just do it. You have to consent to it. That's why they have elections. You must consent to the deception. If you don't, you can vote for the Republicans. But if you want to vote for a Democrat, you will consent to your own deception. And then they will pit women back in men's sports, and then they will mess up the bathrooms. They will give everybody a god awful amount of food stamps and just drain, 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 baby. Talk about drill. They'll just drill, drill, drill the deficit, which is not real. It's totally 100% not real. Oh, what's this dude saying?
Oh,
Evil is
the
actions that cause
goodbye.
harm. Evil is actions that cause harm, and good is actions that do not cause harm. That is the clarification of this. And I
Right, but I think he's saying like generally how you talk, you kind of say like as if one thing can be absolutely positive or negative when the reality is always in the middle, right?
no, it's black and white. It's actions that cause harm are
Nothing is
always
black and
evil.
white.
Yes, actions that cause harm are always evil, and actions that cause good. But there's more principles in this that it's not just about that. Self-defense causes harm, but you're allowed to cause harm if someone harms you first, up to and including death. If someone's trying to kill you, you're allowed to kill them first, and you're not going to receive any karma, consequence, whatever you want to call it, cosmic consequence, karma, uh, juju. I don't, just whatever you want to call it. You're not going to receive. I call it natural law. You're not going to receive a natural law punishment. It's not murder to self-defense, and it's not murder to kill an officer that's trying to kidnap someone against their will because you're defending somebody, a child who can't defend themselves, and that's the line in the sand. And you're allowed to do it. And when I say you're allowed to do it, I mean if you do it, You might go to jail, but there's going to be some intervention that's going to happen. There's going to be something that happens that propels natural law.
Natural law just means the universe clapping back on you.
Yeah, like, you spread violence, you're going to have a worse life. Perfect example, if you are a millionaire, you might think that you have a good life. You have all the money you could want. But if you're also a serial killer at the same time, you're not going to have any peace. The disadvantage of breaking natural law, you can get very rich doing it, like many of the Democrats have done. But you lose the ability to be happy. You lose the element of surprise because you just perpetuate the same things over and over again. And you're just a
Element of
soulless,
surprise.
you're just a soulless, gutless coward like Gavin Newsom.
Secondly, it's free reign with a definitely like a justice.
He says, is a lion evil for murdering a zebra?
Yes, Fujin.
I would say yes, it is. As lions don't have a good life. They're predators that live very short. They're often killed by younger males. They have a terrible life because their species breaks natural law, doesn't give a fuck. They could wait for zebras to die on their own or something.
Don't we? Then aren't we way worse because we're at the top of the food chain?
Yes. Carnism is the ultimate act of dominance. Eating something. Like, you kill something and eat it. That's dominating it. That's the ultimate. Like, if I killed you and ate you, I have completely and utterly dominated you. I have subjugated you to my will entirely. My will of murdering you and using your body as I will. So
Where'd
I
you
have
come up with
completely.
these definitions?
Of what?
Uh, sounds like you put a lot of thought into whatever you're calling complete domination, or I don't know these words. They're not they're not my words.
Carnism is eating meat. So
There's like
carnism.
carnism.
Carnism, yeah. So, like, if you eat a hamburger, like you eat meat, you're a carnivore, and you're a herbivore, so you're an omnivore. But you're also uh, a carnivore. Every omnivore is a carnivore, but not every carnivore is an omnivore. And I'm saying that carnism is the ultimate act of dominance. It's a dark occult ritual. The slaughterhouses are a dark occult ritual where they slaughter animals, buckets of blood. I mean, like the whole, like they love it. It's just buckets of blood. It's a dark occult ritual, and that's, I mean, and then they take the meat, and if you can afford it, you can have the fresh meat. If you can't afford it, they put sodium nitrate, like that stuff in the beef jerky pack. They put that stuff inside of the meat. They drowned it. They brine it in it. And then they slice it thin. They put it into your sandwich meat. Or sometimes they ground it up into pink sludge. And they make bologna. They make hot dogs. And they put this thing called sodium nitrate in it. And it keeps it from rotting. But not always. It's not 100%. And it keeps the meat from rotting. So when you're in the store eating, like every pink meat that you see, like every hot dog, stuff like this, it's just rotted meat. That's what it is, and it's just massively pushed. Like in places like New York, the government will promote the hot dog the most because New York's a big place. Hard to feed all those people. You need food. So they created the food hot dog system. They feed the hot dogs to the New Yorkers, and they feed different things to different groups of people. The most healthy being the Japanese people. And I'm trying to answer Koopa's question. He says human beings don't learn language magically by default. So a human who never learned any language kills another human with no language. He's evil. Why do you think, like, that's your perception? You would murder. Not everybody would murder. You're the problem. Your mind, if you didn't have anything to eat, you would murder somebody to get it. Well, not everybody would do that. Some people would farm. They would gather and scavenge what resources they had. It's called game theory. They would work together in cooperation, and they would farm, and they would raise farm animals and prevent starvation together, and they would all work as a unit.
You have
And
to
the one,
kill animals to farm, though.
yes, they would, yes.
But you said murder's bad, and they could take a stance and not have to do that.
You're not going to get punished for killing an animal. You can kill you. You can. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but you're allowed to kill the animals, to murder them. It's not the same as murdering a human being. I mean, it's not good, but you're not going to face a natural law consequence other than carnism. Like the vegans are right. We should just be eating plants. Meat is a survival food. Whenever the crops are bad, whenever the land doesn't bless you, you have to kill animals to survive. And you have to ask yourself, why is the land not blessing you? Why aren't we farming? Why aren't we doing these things? Because the dark occult runs it. And the punishment of the dark occult, the rulers of our world, you have to eat meat.
All right. Yeah, so I'll just kind of end this off. I don't want to, I let kind of anyone kind of come up and, say their piece, but it is kind of getting later.
I love you so
The
much.
night.
Thank you for having me.
But yeah, we're just gonna end this off. We've been live for about an hour and 44 minutes going on. But yeah, we have a court tomorrow morning. I might go live before or after. I'm not really sure. I know we'll go live after. Definitely say when. But yeah, thank you.